Okay, so good afternoon. My name is Liz DeRosa, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the TactegraGo Government Services web launch. Folks that have signed up to join us have signed up from 17 states, the District of Columbia, and then TactegraGo's home base of North Carolina. So I'm going to turn this over to Executive Director Mark, and he's going to kick off the launch. So if you happen to have any questions, please feel free to send them in the chat, and then we'll get to those towards the end. Go ahead and take it away, Mark.
Thanks, Liz. So thank you, everybody, for taking time out of your busy day, especially at lunchtime for some of us. And hopefully we'll have a productive session, informational session here for you today. We really appreciate you joining us on this rollout of our website and kind of our new division and our brand. So on behalf of Ian Cato and Izzy Sanchez, the owners of the company, I'm gonna turn it over to Ian, and he's gonna tell us a little bit about TactegraGo.
Hey guys, thanks so much. Liz, Mark, thank you for the intro, and thank all of you for taking time out of your busy schedules, especially your lunch breaks, to join to hear a little bit about our company. Over the last 11 years, Izzy and I have embarked on something which was a little unique. We met at Bank of America in the early 2000s, and the friendship has just blossomed into this partnership where we have taken the skill sets that we came to Bank of America with, like pretty much out on the road. When we started this business, we were primarily a Lean Six Sigma organization. And Lean Six Sigma was the only deliverable we had to our clients. Over the last 11 years, what we were able to see was actually the vast array of opportunity that taking this process view of the world actually gave us. About a year or so ago, we had an encounter with a gentleman out of the government space, and he brought some different ideas as to how our approach could actually be that will enhance what TactegraGo's offerings were to both the private and the public concern. To go back a little bit, one of our second client in this company, after we had gotten our first engagement with Wells Fargo, our second client was the United States Postal Service. And they remained our client for 9.5 years. And shortly thereafter, we also had an engagement with the Marine Corps. But we were still on the commercial side, heavily on the commercial side. We really didn't have this government focus. And about a year ago, after this interaction with this gentleman from Washington, D.C., we embarked on a journey to actually give us an opportunity to be competitive in the government space. So we pursued certain certifications. The one certification that we were able to pursue right away, and actually now we are, is the Service Disabled Veteran-Owned Small Business certification. We then pursued the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise certification through the state of North Carolina. We also a minority business enterprise with the County of Mecklenburg, and we also a small business enterprise or concern with the city of Charlotte. Today, we are also in the running for 8A certification, which we believe we will have by 2021. And also we're beginning the journey of getting a GSA schedule. So it makes us really prime to actually be competitive in the government space. Our offerings will also expand. So as we move away from just Lean Six Sigma, we are continuing to take this process readiness or resiliency approach to the marketplace. We also have project management solutions, and we offer this full suite of PMO solutions, if you will. We also focus on the digital transformation that everyone today is looking to. One of the differentiating factors between our commercial business and our government business is also staff augmentation. So in the government space, we will be offering staff augmentation. We will also continue with our flagship product around operational excellence, program installations, and also training, Lean Six Sigma training. And you will also hear from Mark that we are creating our own brand of operational excellence here in the near future. So again, I'd like to thank everyone for joining because this is big for us. This is huge as we transition from the government space from the commercial space to the government space. We're trying to take advantage of everything that we bring to the table. And we believe that we will actually have a great time in the government space because, you know, we're still going to be optimizing performance and the experience of customers. And that's our basic goal at the end of the day for TactegraGo. Thank you. Mark, you might want to get off.
Yeah, so I think we're going to toss it over to Izzy. So one of the things that we've done is we really put a lot of thought recently into kind of splitting the company into multiple divisions. And while we have some new things going right now, we have TactegraGo Business Consulting and the TactegraGo Government Services. So I'm going to toss it over to Izzy Sanchez to talk a little bit about consulting services, and then we'll come back to the government.
Thank you, Mark. And you know what, listening and reflecting on what Ian was saying, it's been over a decade since really the initial company, which is our business consulting firm. We have been honing our skills ever since. We have been deepening our consulting and advisory services knowledge with every engagement that we have done as a business consulting firm. And we plan to continue to offer those services in all the different areas and industries we work, from banking and financial services. We have gone worldwide with financial services with some clients, the insurance businesses, of course, manufacturing, which is one of our original, where we came from originally, utilities. It is amazing to think about how much utilities have come up in operational excellence. And we have done that from coast to coast, from the East Coast to the West Coast with utilities. Healthcare, helping companies with healthcare, which is really emerging, even though they have been trying for some time, they're still emerging. Healthcare is a very difficult nut to crack. And then our services, the way we're doing our services, which really is the strength that we come with process work, which boils down to risk and risk management. And every one of those industries I just spoke about, we have been in, they're always trying to understand and then manage the risk, the operational risk. And that's where process comes in. Our technology work and digitalization, the PM work, the professional project management that we have provided to a variety of companies. Operational excellence, like Ian mentioned, we continue to do that on business consulting, and we can do that customized to and tailored to whatever any company needs, or we can create your own or use a standard. We have done all of that, and we plan to continue to do all of those things, create, manage, and solve our clients' problems in the private sector. And once we solve that problem, you can rely on Tactegra that problem will be solved for good. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I promise not to read any text to you. I hate when people do that, but I'm going to share my screen a little bit so we can just do a quick walkthrough. So one of the things that you may have noticed right off the bat is, again, one of the things that we did or we changed was, as Izzy was just talking about, the Tactegra Business Consulting. So this is our TactegraBiz.com website that we have. And then the other thing that we did was now we have our government services website, which is TactegraGov.com. And again, really, one of the things we realized is we had a lot of discussion about, what does it mean to work in the government? As Ian mentioned, we work with the Postal Service for many years. I was fortunate to work on some pretty cool projects with the Postal Service. And even though they're, the Postal Service isn't the government, they think they are when it's convenient. So, but it is it's a large organization, obviously, and we'll talk more about that as we go through. But Ian really gave you the history of the company, and Izzy talked about the business consulting. Really, I'd like to talk about really what our services are and specifically how they apply to the government. And, again, Izzy and Ian both mentioned these, but when you think about what we do, we really do 5 things. The first thing is project management solutions. So we do and have done and continue to do project management for our clients. And it could be anything from, filling seats for project managers to managing large programs in the financial services world and some other sectors. We do PMO implementation. We help organizations stand up PMOs. And, we also work on we have this process, strategy, realization, and planning, where a lot of organizations, they may have a PMO, but converting their strategy into execution can be a challenge. So we help out in that space as well. Going back to our process roots, we have this area called process readiness and resiliency. So this is everything from documenting the process. These tend to be longer engagements, but this is documenting the process, helping them prepare for audit, designing the processes from the get-go and then optimizing them. And then a lot of our risk work takes place in this space because we feel there's a strong linkage between risk and process. And obviously you have to understand what your process is if you're going to do risk analysis and controls and things of that nature. And we have done a lot of work in the risk space and risk program management as well. Our third area is digital transformation. So that's kind of a buzzword today. And this is really encompassing of quite a few things. First of all, transformation of your business using the digital tools, robotic process automation. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Our data offerings are in this space. So we've done quite a few data engagements where we help our clients with the quality of their data. We help them map their data, and then we also do analytics for them as well as teach them how to do analytics. The other thing that we did was we put the agile into the space, and any agile work that we do, we see is really happening in this space because we view that as an enabler to digital transformation. Our fourth area is staff augmentation. And again, this is a little bit different because this is truly where our clients come to us with need of hands and heads or hands. And we help them. We have one of the cool things. I worked for the company about 10 years ago. When I rejoined, we have a really good staffing pipeline process that we use. And some of our tentative and prospective clients have also told us how much they like it. And really, we keep our pipeline full, and we really excel at placing the positions that you see here. You know, people that do what we do. We tend, on these particular ones, these tend to be a little bit more lone wolves that may go out there and work. We may not be doing any consulting, but again, we provide heads. And since we're experts in these fields, we do a pretty good job of providing them the folks that they need. And then our last area is really the operational excellence program and training. Again, this is our roots. We help everywhere from advising companies on how to start up, even with RPA, how to pick the right processes to work on, deployment and integration of continuous improvement, training at all different levels, ongoing coaching and mentoring, and then workshops as well. So that's just a really, really quick run through of the services that we provide. If you want to take the time when you go out and visit the website, what you'll see is we talk a little bit more about each one, what those mean to us. And again, any of these, obviously, that we can help you with, we would love to have a discussion with you. The last thing I want to talk about as part of the formal presentation is some of the newer capabilities that we've created. And these are some things that, again, you know, if you think about what we do, we really like to view ourselves as being innovative. And these are some things that maybe we've tried to put in where there's a gap that we see, and we're trying to fill that gap for our clients. The first one here was the result of an actual Lean Six Sigma project that we did on the project management process. And you probably have heard that, you know, there's the project failure rate is anywhere from, 50 to 95%. And, people say projects fail all the time and the project failure rate is very high. So we try to get to the root cause of that. And we've created this process that we use with our clients called the project performance process, which is a set of tools that expands on, or that's additive to, your standard initiate, plan, execute, control, and close process. So this, we call that the 3P, or the project performance process, and that's in our project management space. The next thing that this is really the first time that we're announcing it, is we're running a program called Veteran to Project Manager. We're working with a variety of agencies to look for 20 veterans in the first cohort who will participate in this 90-day training program that really will be focused on two things. One will be how to pass the PMP exam, which we view as definitely the gateway of entry into the project management field. And then the second piece is how to really take that and be an effective project or program manager, beyond the basics of PMP. The next area is what we call our R2S2 model. And in the the advent or the now this new environment. Somebody has to go on mute. Okay, there we go. So in the advent of the COVID, you'll see a lot of consultancies now are speaking about resiliency. And when we really started thinking about this, what we realized was there's really 4 dimensions that you have to assess your business against. Readiness, how ready are you to do your current mission? Resiliency, do you have the capability to bounce back from unexpected events, and how flexible are you? Stability, do you have steady performance? Do you consistently deliver? And then sustainability, can you maintain those things throughout some period for an extended period of time? So one of the things we've created is a maturity model where we can assess your organization against these different criteria and use that as a baseline to plan on improving your business. The next area, and I saw Ian Lazarus was on from Creato. We're partnering with Creato to develop a solution for our clients around their Compass quality management system. And also this Compass system can also be used for project and portfolio management. So again, we're developing that we see a need in the market for this particular type of system and process, and we're beginning to expand that and push it out into the marketplace. The next area is around robotic process automation and business process management. We've started a relationship with a company called Nintex, where we're really looking at, most companies have done some type of process documentation work, but really how do you take that work, how do you take that process documentation and move it on to the next step? How can you potentially, how do you first manage, then you can automate, then you can optimize? RPA is definitely a hot button item today, but again, we're trying to take some of the foundational work that our clients have done and expand that beyond just your standard process documentation and get them those efficiencies that they're looking for. And then Ian mentioned our last area in our operational excellence practice is what we're calling the new Six Sigma. So we're really looking at now, again, how do you pull all this stuff together? The data, the process, the automation, the strategies, the projects. And we're really looking, and we've created this we're starting to roll this out, this rapid process enhancement and strategic process enhancement, where we're basically trying to make the MAG cycle more efficient and effective and make it more meaningful for a business and using it as kind of the next generation of Six Sigma. So again, that's just a brief introduction of our capabilities and some of our new services and capabilities that we're rolling out. And I'll go ahead and toss it back over to Liz.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mark. So I did get a few questions, and we've got plenty of folks who just called in. So, maybe they might have questions as well, but they weren't able to message me. So one of the questions that I got was, what does management consulting look like in a COVID environment?
Well, there definitely will be dogs and children involved. I think again, that's where we, when everything happened in, like the end of February, beginning of March, we saw a lot of discussion online. We're obviously looking at what our competitors are doing. We're looking what our clients are doing with the government. There's been lots of webinars and discussions with them. Even things like trying to turn in a quote to the government is change, especially for some of the local and state government who really, they're not set up like the federal government is to take quotes. So I think, there's going to be a lot more, obviously, of virtual meetings, things of this nature where, you're doing these virtual meetings, but really also understanding, how to help businesses. I think that the theme is going to be kind of how do you bounce back first? And then how do you, again, that's where we think our R2S2 model would come in. If you really think about it, everybody's talking about resiliency, But some of the things that are in that model, we're trying to pull everything together, what we've talked about, what we've been talking about for years. You know, is your process stable? Is it in control? Are you currently ready to do the mission? You know, we saw for sure that a lot of companies had, you know, business continuity plans, and they had controls in place. And some of our clients, you know, you can just, if you go to Target, you can see how those organizations have been impacted. And, you know, it's really going to take something to look at. Again, how do you build those capabilities and be ready for the next time something similar to this happens?
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you. And then the other question that I've got is with regard to digital transformation, can you go into a little bit more detail and give us an example of what you've done for a client?
Sure. So, you know, most of the time, you know, that's a buzzword that gets thrown around, and that's where we try with our clients to make things a little bit more definable. A lot of work that we've done in that space has been around, for example, we helped an insurance company down in Dallas with automating their process. So for example, you know, everything they did was very paper-based, very manual, a lot of steps. You know, you've all seen I'm sure you've seen the spaghetti diagram, you know, where you see where everybody's walking around. And now, you know, especially going back to the earlier question with COVID, things are going to have to be more digital. You know, we saw early on when we were attending some webinars with some agencies, people just didn't even know how to do a webinar. So a lot of our focus around that has been, you know, again, how do you automate? We've had experience in the past taking a very manual process and making it more automated with workflow and some of the process tools that we've used to date.
Okay, great. Excellent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unmute everybody. And if you know, would like to put your video on, I see some people have shut their video off. If you'd like to do that, definitely want to open it up now to, you know, let's do some networking, get to know Ian, Izzy, and Mark, and maybe if there's a way of collaboration, or if you've got an additional question that you know want to ask it in real time, you know, feel free to do that. So Sally, I think you pinged me that you had a question maybe that you wanted to bring up.
Sure. Thank you so much, Izzy, Mark, and the team. I was visiting your website, and I actually reached out and sent an inquiry. So ECHO I'm a force multiplier, executive connector, etc. And I have relationships with large primes in the DoD, DOE energy space, a lot of these really massive decommissioning, 10-year, $15 billion crazy projects where they hire maybe 5 or 10 people with master service agreement, and then they hire other trusted small business supplier contractors. So my question that I sent on your website is that I'd love to talk to you about, you know, if you've done work with the DOE, if sort of that kind of, you know, decommissioning project management would be of interest, and just basically to, you know, reach out and we can have a short discovery call and I can answer any questions you're interested in. But it sounds like you have a really great organization. And I also didn't see on your website, maybe I missed it, some of your past projects. Do you list customers and projects?
Yeah, you know,
Mark,
I'm sorry.
do you want to show the cap statement maybe? Because
Sure.
that has some of the.
Sure. Hold on, let me share my screen again.
Okay. I was just
While Mark is doing that, maybe I could answer a little bit about past projects. One of the things on the commercial side that's different on the government side for sure. On the commercial side, they're a little bit more safeguarded around a couple of things, using their names and using the work that we've done for them. Whereas on the government, it's part of the process, it's part of the protocol. So we have tried, we've gone through real extensive means to try to protect some of our clients' work. We do share their names sometimes. Also, that is also even a big thing for them. But we'll do the best to answer any questions we can that would not give us any public ramifications or cause any public grief to our clients on the commercial side. That's a really big safeguard feature on the commercial side.
Yeah, but certainly we love to have a dialogue. You know, we are we've really just started in the government space in February. We have about 15 or 16 proposals in. Right now, you know where the government is. I mean, they're kind of slow. I think as of about 2 weeks ago, they've only spent about 10% of what they've spent in past years. And obviously we know that's because of the COVID issue. But, you know, we are definitely also trying to represent our past performance in the commercial space for the government, because again, a lot of the proposals or the RFPs that we see, you know, we go, yeah, we've done that. And sometimes, you know, we've actually talked to some of different agencies and they're saying, yeah, you know, we're kind of sick of the government contractors, the people that have been doing this forever and ever in our space. We're really looking for new and innovative partners, and, you know, we'll see how that pans out, but that's kind of what we're hearing. And, you know, again, love to talk to you about the work that we've done and, you know,
Great.
what we're doing.
Good. I look forward to it. Thank you.
And a list of some of the, you know, previous clients are towards the bottom of the capability statement.
Great. I'll
So
download that. Thank you for showing me
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sally, for that question. Does anyone else have a question that they would like to ask? Like I said, any of the folks on the phone, feel free to jump in and just let us know what your name is. And
Hey, Mike Mosier, a couple, I guess, one comment, one questions. One is recently retired from Train Technologies, and glad to see that you adopted Nintex. We actually evaluated quite a few different workflow platforms out there. Although we were already paperless in many respects, though, we actually found that you know, the tool itself was very helpful, going from a lot of web forms and email boxes full of web forms that get emailed around. So I'm glad to see that from that standpoint. My question was really around, you know, the healthcare practice. I saw something on LinkedIn, Izzy, a few weeks ago or maybe a month or two ago, saying that you're starting down that path, and you said it's very difficult. Just kind of what's your vision there, and what's your current status, and where would you like to go?
Yeah, let me start by saying that the healthcare practice is something that is not, it is not something that we are publicizing heavily yet, because it is up and coming. We're forming it. We do have we have the ideas, we have the concepts, we have some prototyping that we have done for some products. Is going to be based on serving the bedridden patients, which we found to be largely underserved by many manufacturers and many providers. So we're going to focus on that area. And you know, we're in the process of actually obtaining some patents for some of the work that we have done there, some of the products. And at the same time, we are also, I would say, in the next couple of months, moving forward with going to early market with that service. And that is separate from the healthcare consulting business. It's actually a healthcare manufacturing provider of products and services to patients and, of course, caregivers, which are by and large the ones who we will focus to make sure that the products and services that we provide will do serve them, and of course that the patients at the end of the day, which is the end user, that they will benefit tremendously from what we are putting forth. But we're still probably, I would say, Ian, you chime in, but probably September timeframe.
Yeah, I think absolutely. Just to expand on what Izzy is saying, there's two aspects to our healthcare model. Naturally, consulting, management consulting, I think in the healthcare space, hospitals and so on and so forth, insurance, we've done a lot of work in those environments. I think the piece that Izzy is actually referring to is we found an opportunity about a year and a half to 2 years ago where we were looking at the bedridden community, their family members and the caregivers. And we were thinking about how do we make life much more efficient for them from a process perspective. It all started with a process view into their world. and some of the experiences that they were having. And it led to actually a flagship product that we have tested. And right now, I think we're in the process of hiring the division lead, so Mark's peer, to actually take that strategy and that vision and run with it and evolve into something greater. So it goes back to the whole concept of TactegraGo being this element of consulting and also now venturing into the world of products and services that are much more tangible in nature. The classic manufacturing or assembly or whichever way you want to look at it. So I think by 2021, we'll have a three-pronged approach to the marketplace. You will have this business consulting on the commercial side, you will have the government consulting, and then you will have this healthcare piece where we're enabling, all of it is to help our communities, right? So we want to be this conglomerate on the business consulting side in Charlotte. So we want to bring management consulting from a different place, a different process-based angle in the Charlotte market. Government, naturally, we are going to be both federal, state, and local, all three of those. And then on the healthcare side, we'll start helping the bedridden community. If you think about the things that's happening today in our world with baby boomers and with COVID-19, this is just, unfortunately, an ideal time to have that level of focus as well on the bedridden.
Okay, great. So who would I speak to follow up, to learn more and have a deeper conversation?
You could contact Mike. You could contact Izzy or myself, or we could set up some time where we could just sit down and have a conversation. Again, we're in the process of hiring that division managers to be the executive director, and there's also we're going to have a lot of work over the next several months on marketing. One of the things that we have not done well in this company is we have not marketed ourselves to the extent that probably we should have. We worked for the last 11 years or so on our performance. And when we were like babes in the woods, when we left corporate America and we ventured out into this thing, we thought it was all about, hey, if you do a great job, people will hire you. Well, we forgot about that whole relationship concept, and people having to know you. So I think with this evolution, we have keyed in on the performance. Now we're going to be working a lot on image and exposure, and we're going to be looking at how do we get our name out there into the marketplace in a more formidable way than we have ever done in the past. So it's not just about the website, but it's about this constant view of here are the things that TactegraGo does. Here is the name TactegraGo. Here's who we are. Here's how we link to our community and that type of thing. So look for more of that. And so we would love to engage anyone in our community, whether the government community, the commercial community, or the healthcare community, so we could expand on our conversation. So feel free to reach out.
Right, super, thanks.
Mike, and our emails haven't changed probably in 10 years. So they're the same. Izzy.Sanchez@Tactegra, Ian.Cater@Tactegra, or Mark.Chimowski@Tactegra. Easiest way to get us is via email.
Okay, super, thanks.
Great, thank you. I did want to mention Ashley. I noticed that she's joined us. She has been a proposal consultant for the last 12 years. And so she's an excellent person. Ashley, if you want to take yourself off mute for a second. And she has a blog on proposal writing and tips and tricks and strategies. And Ashley, could you just kind of introduce yourself a little bit?
Hi, yeah. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm using a headset I normally use. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, I am a proposal consultant. Right now I work for a company called AOC Key Solutions, and we kind of focus on helping clients write proposals that will have a greater chance of winning. So compelling, compliant, all those good things. We do some training to kind of help companies understand how to do that themselves. And then we also kind of can help in that business development, capture, marketing side of things as well, if that's what companies need. So we can kind of plug in where organizations need us.
Well, that is awesome. Thank you for joining, Ashley. And I think we should be talking.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to set up a call.
We'd love to chat with you. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. We want to win. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely.
let's link up.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Great.
Good. All right. Janina, I notice you joined. Are you able to put on your video and introduce yourself? Again, even if I'm not calling you out, feel free to chime in. Hi, Janina.
Hey y'all, I'm sorry.
Hey,
I was
Janine.
Oh, you're
hold on. Let me switch.
You're absolutely fine. So can you introduce yourself?
Yes. Good morning. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Janine. I was not expecting to say anything. I just was here to kind of see the launch of your new website. I'm working my other job, so I just wanted to stop by and check it out. So I'm the owner of Optimal Professional Services. We are a project management consulting service as well. I have a background in project in healthcare, insurance on the insurance side. So when y'all were talking about the bedridden community, I used to work at Health and Human Services. So all that kind of resonated with me. So again, I was not expecting to say anything today, but congratulations on your website launch, and I will be in touch because I am looking for partners for our company. So
Awesome.
I will be in touch. Congratulations.
Thank you, Janina. It was a pleasure to meet you.
You too.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, so one of the things we've done, again, as all things are a learning experience, we've actually established a partnership. One of our key partners is End-to-End Computing. We're working on a proposal with them right now. And, that was another learning experience for us is, how to partner up with these folks who have either a GSA contract or a Seaport contract. And, again, learning experience, but it's been pretty fun working with those guys. So yeah, definitely get in contact with us, or we'll contact you and
Absolutely.
going on.
Definitely. Thank you.
I know Ian Lazarus is up there. It says Mark Chahansky.
I was wondering.
Ian's the CEO of Creato, and I don't know, Ian, if you wanted to say anything. He's one of our new partners as well.
Sure. I don't know. Is it showing my face?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, good afternoon or good morning, everyone. My name's Ian Lazarus, not to be confused with Ian Cato. 20-year-old company called Creato, and yeah, we are in the Lean Six Sigma space, like TactegraGo. Our focus for the first 18 years was in healthcare, so we bring some relationships in the healthcare space that I think can aid in the partnership that we hope to build with you folks. We basically have 3 business areas. We do Lean Six Sigma training, both on-site and online. Given the change in how people approach training, our online products are getting a lot of attention right now. We do leadership development, and we have a series of hosted solutions. So when you saw the slide that Mark put up with Compass, that's really our flagship product. Compass provides a project management platform to create the transparency around all the activity, coordinates and manages projects, and provides the tools and training to folks in the course of them doing improvement work. So pretty robust platform. We're excited to introduce it to TactegraGo and their clients. When COVID hit, I started to turn my attention to development because I wasn't going to conferences anymore. I wasn't doing any public speaking. And part of that development was to seek out some partnerships with companies so that we could, when things went back to normal, we'd go back with a stronger set of solutions. And so really the net result of that effort was to find the folks at TactegraGo. So we're really looking forward to understanding how we can bring a combined set of products and services to the market.
Thanks, Ian.
Hey, this is Ian Cato. Just to follow up on a question that was asked earlier about COVID-19. About a year ago, we started down this path of a remote model. And some of the bigger houses out there, Deloitte's, the KPMGs, they've always done something called BPO, where you outsource your business process. And about a year ago, we started down this model of this path of having this remote model. And what was interesting was our clients fully didn't understand the remote model concept. It was where we would actually perform services at our site versus having to go to the client site. Lo and behold, COVID-19 hit, and more people now had to shift to this remote model. So whether it was at our home or whether it was in another site, these major corporations were closing their facilities down because they would be super spreaders. And so people had to find a way. So it's interesting how when we introduced this to some of our clients, you know, they were confused. They didn't know how to operate in the remote model space. And today we're all forced one way or another to operate remotely. I mean, Zoom, very few people knew about Zoom before the pandemic hit. And then all of a sudden, Zoom became this massive platform by which we all communicate today. So we were doing this remote model way before the COVID space. But I think one of the learnings that a lot of management consulting firms and our clients are having about the new environment is that there's going to be more remote models, good, bad, or indifferent, whether you like it or not. Over the next 2 years or 18 months to 2 years, a lot of things are going to be done remotely. And, you know, Mark started off the conversation talking about, you know, children and dogs and all these other things that happen in our environments every day. That's going to be the reality. The reality is, are you ready to operate in a remote model? And so TactegraGo, we have honed our skills over a year ago in the remote model. So to us, being remote is just simply another day at the office, you know. So that's one of the things that I think we're going to see more and more. We're going to reduce the number of personal contact. People are going to get in touch with each other and be face to face when necessary, but it's not going to be a day-to-day existence. And I think that's going to be a shift in the management consulting space, right? So instead of, you know how it works. You bring in a big management consulting firm, they take over 15 conference rooms, they take over a whole floor. All of that is gone in tomorrow's model because I think they're testing it today to say, how comfortable are we by engaging a consultant who we don't necessarily see physically every day? And the more comfortable, the longer we stay in this mode is the more comfortable people are going to become. So I think by 2021, you're going to start seeing RFPs and different engagements with management consulting firms saying presence not required. You know, and so the sell is going to be harder. How you actually perform is going to be a little different. How people perceive you is going to be different. So, you know, TactegraGo, we're ready for that. We didn't know the pandemic was coming, but we were in the remote model space about a year ago on this.
Yeah, and it is a paradigm shift. Sorry, go ahead, Izzy.
I was going to say that the remote model was a typical sale to our clients a year ago, or a little bit over a year ago, 2 years ago. And now is the easiest thing to do, right? It's amazing how the world turns.
Yeah, people are used to being able to get up and yell across the hall or the cubicle. And it was a little bit of a paradigm shift for some of our clients. Some people are just have always used the remote model. But yeah, we've seen even now in the RFPs where, you know, there's a lot more shift to performance at the contractor site. And, you know, I think everybody's finally realizing one of our value propositions to our clients was the cost savings in travel or whatever. And, you know, people don't understand that, yeah, you might get a great rate, you know, for services, but by the time you throw in the travel, all of a sudden now you're going to start spending a lot of money. And sometimes it doesn't matter because it's, you know, goes to a different accounting category. But, you know, it is for some of our clients, it is, and for the government, it will be a big, huge savings.
Okay. All right. Anybody else want to ask a question? We've got some folks who we've got Jennifer, Jenny, Jamie. I know a few people messaged me, said that they're not able to talk right now, and definitely will make a connection, you know, with you offline for sure. You know, definitely being forward thinking, right? As Ian said, being forward thinking in this environment without even realizing that we had to be, right? Thinking ahead. And then also, you know, looking to add on that additional, you know, division in 2021. So, I mean, a lot of really exciting things are going on with, you know, TactegraGo, and then this government services is just, you know, one of them. So, gentlemen, do you have anything else to add kind of before we kind of end and let folks go? I think, you know, I've, you know, truly appreciated the last 50 minutes that you've all, you know, spent with us, you know, learning about the company, and you know that we'll be reaching out to you. We've got your email addresses and obviously your LinkedIn profiles, you know, to touch base after this webinar. And folks who weren't able to attend, we're going to reach out to them as well, you know, to set up those meetings with Mark or Ian and Izzy where appropriate, and see where we can, you know, take these relationships.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to thank everybody for taking the time. Everyone be healthy and safe, and we'll talk to you soon.
And thank you for taking time out of your busy day to join us. And we look forward to seeing you down this road of happiness that we're about to trudge. We're going down this road. So join us.
All right,
Absolutely.
Thank
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.